Come on, fix it. Boom. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Oh, hell no. Damn it. Damn it. What the fuck is that? God damn it. Oh, that pisses me off. Jesus Christ. All right. I kind of fucked up a little bit. I fucked up one thing on the prompt. Who can point it out? Who can point out where I fucked up? Who can point out where I fucked up? Tap, 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 tap for the algorithm. Tap, 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 tap. Share this with a biracial friend or an FBA friend. We're looking for all the smoke today. Go ahead and invite them up. Biracials and FBAs. It's a half inch over. Oh my god. I'm looking at it through another perspective. You guys can't see the goddamn petition. It looks so much better on my phone. Biracials. Biracials and FBAs. Tell me something in the comments. Tell me the similarities or differences. Tell me the differences or similarities. Biracials and FBAs. Invite a FBA or a biracial. Oh, this is a sick little panel thing right here. I'll have biracials on one side, and then I'll have FBAs on the other side, right? What do you guys think about that? They'll kind of like, they'll battle it out. Oh, here, I actually have something for you guys to hear real quick. This is biracial people fighting amongst FBAs, okay? Look, just listen to them. Listen how rowdy they get. And I thought they were supposed to be on the same team, you know? But nah, they wanna fight and bicker. Hold up, guys, give me a second. This is what motivated me to do this prompt. Let's see, hold on. Give me a second. Almost there. Okay, so I don't know what this FBA did to this biracial woman, but they went at it. Okay, here it is. Ready? Here we go. I'm just telling you. Listen, Tyshawn. Tyson, my bad. Like y'all can't say y'all don't like, well, not you, but y'all can't be saying y'all call it, like I had an FBA come up here and call me a mutt, but you be the same nigga that be in my inbox. Cause pussy, cooch is cooch. Guys don't discriminate on a cooch. Don't let that go over your head. Man, you be the same motherfuckers I ain't never met. Cash at me $300-400 off this app. You got a special clown who did that. No, not clown. Clowns with the S. Hey, Tyson, I give you a little props. What are you talking about? Because you didn't crash out on me. I'm not gonna crash out on you. You were still respectful, and I appreciate that. But I got smoke for most of the FBAs. They got smoke for me on my videos. I got smoke right back to them. I'm more African American than they are. My lineage is very, very deeply rooted in this country. We ain't not trying to fight nobody on that. We just know who we are. And my kids, both of my children, they come from Black American women. So we not tripping. I'm not tripping. My children come from Black American men. And I come from a Black American man. And my grandbabies come from Black American men. So you may qualify then. We'll see you online. I see you online. First of all, what do you mean may qualify? If you're a Black American and your people came over in them chains on that fucking ship, you qualify. On what ship? The slave ships. If you was on them plantations, you qualify. Like what we talking about? Mm-hmm. I don't know what ships you came over on. I heard they had some Irish people on them plantations. My people been over here. Maybe y'all get so you want reparations from not being kidnapped from your ancestors not being kidnapped from Africa and brought and displaced into a land and used? No, we want reparations for chattel slavery, redlining. Oh, yeah. Switch up because that's not what the website says. That's not what Tyreek Nasheed's website says. Well, I'm not FBA. I'm an American Indian. So how can you come up here? How can you come up here? Hold the fuck up. Because you came up here representing yourself sort of like an FBA, right? So how can you represent yourself as an FBA, then turn around and tell me that you're American Indian? Well, who are your people, baby? Because FBA are people who don't know who they are. That's who they are. That's what FBA is. I think FBA knows exactly who they are. They know that they're descendants of Africa. They know that their people went through slavery, chattel slavery. They know their people went through slavery. Yes, they did. And I'm gonna tell you how I know. Because let me speak from my other side for a minute. I come from slave owners, white slave owners. That African slaves are documented. Some of you all don't even have names. So yeah, of y'all people and where they were born at in Africa. Oh yeah, you do? What was their names? What were they? The people what were they names? To know already know. I would love to know. What were they names? Go look up the Whitney Plantation. The Whitney. I'm not. Listen. Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. You said you would love to know. All of them on a huge monument. A huge monument that's about 22 feet long, front and back of the monument. All of their names, all of their children's names, all of their price, and all of the locations where they were born at. In Africa? In Africa. And when was this monument built? This documentation is from the 1700s. The monument was built off of. It's my 6th great grandfather's will. Sound like indoctrination, doesn't it? This is my lineage. I understand because you have white and have black. Right? And also I have black cousins from that lineage that all verify that is their lineage.
You would be like, okay, these biracials know something, right? They're flexing their white family members' property right now. But they're checking the FBA because the FBA is saying he's indigenous. So they're kind of, but wait.
Their lineage. One of the most well-documented plantations in the country with all of the enslaved people that were on this plantation. Go to Louisiana, go to the Whitney Plantation. Shit, you don't even have to do that.
I understand
wait, hold on. Let me finish. You don't even have to do that because you can actually look up Whitney Plantation. It is the only plantation in this country that does not dedicate itself to the people who started the plantation or ran the plantation, my people. It dedicates itself to the people that were enslaved on that plantation and the people that were sharecropping on that plantation into the 1900s. The lineages that are in that area, and if you want to see where your people or some of your people likely were enslaved at, you can go to the Whitney Plantation today. Now, if you can prove that you are lineage of that plantation, which is anybody in any of the surrounding parishes, there's no entrance fee. Any black person from the surrounding parishes, you have lineage from that plantation. There's no entrance fee. We understand the plantation.
There's no entrance fee, bitch. Who would want to go to the goddamn plantation?
Plantations. We understand the. What you're denying is that they were born in Africa. Yes. And it literally says the nation that they were born in, not country, because they had no countries. These were nations. The Bambara nation, the Kingo nation, the Timba nation. It literally says what nations these Africans were born in. Listen, let me tell you this. And their price. Are you going to let me talk? No, because you're denying history. No, I'm denying your white father's history. There's a difference. And a Creole black man from New Orleans. So who's white in your family? That's for you to figure out. That's not for me. Do you know everything else? Who's white? We need to know who's writing these stories that you're spewing. Who's white? Because we're not denying the plantations because we know we are prisoners of war here in our land. We know we are prisoners of war. We were invaded. Our land was invaded by your forefathers. We do know this. But can you show me some documentation that you were here? What do you mean show you some documentation? Who's your people? My people is Albert Perry. My people is Arietta Lacks. My people I happen to know Harrietta Lax's niece. So and she does claim to be African American, like a descendant of Africa. Her whole family claims to be descendants of Africa. We all circle African American. They claim to be descendants of Africa. And when it comes to Albert Perry, his DNA is over in Africa. Oh my God. They said the same thing about Oprah. They said the same thing about Sierra. So who's your people? You said they said the same thing about Oprah. They said the same thing about Sierra. You said they said the same thing about Sierra. Well, who's your tribe? Who's your clan? Listen, lady. Ma'am. Do you know it was plenty of Cherokees, Chickasaws, Lumbees, There's plenty of tribes over here.
Which one are you?
I'm neither. I am neither.
I'm trying to see which one you are.
We're not part of any tribes today.
Oh, because I am.
We're still the indigenous North American. We're still the indigenous Americans.
I come from a people.
We don't come from Africa, and that's what's making y'all mad.
New then. You must be
you
something
understand
new.
That we don't come from Africa.
You must be something new.
We don't.
What's your food?
We don't have no white people in our DNA.
What's your food?
We don't have any.
Food? You made a claim that the FBAs don't know who they are, and they were lost and confused.
They don't.
I think it's the Black Indian that's lost and confused, because I do think that the FBAs know exactly who they are.
No, they don't.
They do. They do.
That's why they so mainstream now.
They do.
They exactly do. CIA want running their show right now.
The FBAs know where they come from, and they're not.
Keep preaching that out of Africa.
Tyson, prove it then, nigga.
What's up, Bobby?
Just prove it. Just prove it.
You ain't had to call me a nigga, Bobby. See, you
making all these
claims. You gotta calm down. First, you gotta calm down, Bobby.
All you gotta do is prove it.
Prove what, Bobby? You prove that.
Prove what you saying, man.
Prove that we are indigenous to this land.
Yeah.
I just finished talking to my grandmother. Like, my grandmother, 85 years old. You know that? I asked my grandmother these questions. Grandma, where your grandma come from? Georgia. Where her grandma come from? Georgia. North Carolina. We do not come from Africa. That story, that transatlantic slave trade story, wasn't what it was. Only 1%.
Well, guess what? Guess what, though? You have
1% of those people came over here.
Guess what? You got white people who can say their great-great-great-grandmother is from Georgia.
No, white people
so what
from
does
Europe.
No, you have white people who can say their great-great-great-grandmother is from Georgia. You do have white people that's many generations deep in America.
They do. They are, but they don't go back as far as we do. We was here before they were. That's what I'm trying to say.
Can we not turn this conversation into a pretendian conversation?
Yeah, it don't have to be.
Can we stay on topic? Can we stay on topic?
What I'm trying to say is...
This isn't about you. This isn't about you.
Mulattoes, FBA...
Are not you.
Are definitely not me.
Right. Right.
I don't know what y'all got going on. All I'm saying
is... you want to be part of our conversation? You're on a mulatto panel talking about mulatto topics, but you're here.
Because FBA are just people who haven't graduated yet.
Okay, we don't care. We don't care.
They still.
We don't care. We're not FBA. We're not FBA.
Yeah, FBA.
We don't care. They're begging.
They're
begging my beautiful cousin over here.
Nobody is begging nobody.
Attention. That's the only thing. If you want to talk about FBA's begging her for time and attention,
you got a thirsty one. You got one thirsty FBA in somebody's inbox.
Is it one?
Real men don't do that.
It ain't one FBA. Is it one or is it several?
You might got several. Who knows?
I got a lot.
But that's nothing to be flattered over. Right?
I'm definitely flattered.
Did you see a ring in any of those messages?
Well, actually, one did.
What did you just see? Did you see somebody trying to pump and dump you?
Actually, one did ask me to marry him. Like,
get the fuck out. That's what this is that white side coming out.
He's like, I want you to be my wife. He did.
Y'all are not preferred. I don't know who told y'all. Y'all not preferred.
He actually did. He said, Kentucky, I want you to be my wife.
Y'all be trying to flatter yourself.
I want you to be my wife, Kentucky, and I want you to move down here. I want you to move way. I want you
Black American women. You gotta keep your lineage strong, fellas. Keep your lineage strong.
Nigga, y'all.
Don't be mixing like that.
Kentucky, he's not on a black American woman's panel. He's on mulatto and biracial panels amongst the mulatto and biracial women. And he wants our attention. He wants our attention.
I was just correcting some
No, you're not correcting nothing. You're making yourself look foolish.
All right, now. Don't get yourselves deported.
Get your hot glue February asshole. Because guess what? I have more.
They're going to deport you before they deport us.
Did you see? Y'all like genealogy.
You can.
You like genealogy and all. Have you done your genealogy? I can't. You blue feather wear motherfuckers like genealogy. Have you done your genealogy by chance?
No, not yet, but I will soon. I was just looking at my but I'll tell you one thing.
You don't even know what you just said to me. You said to me that the FBAs were confused and they don't know where they come from. But you an Indian who don't even know who your genealogy is. Like, get the fuck off the panel.
You don't know who your genealogy is. You stated that wrong. You don't know who your genealogy.
You don't even know your genealogy. You don't
there
know
you go. There you stated it right.
That's fine. That's cool, but you don't know where you come
listen,
from.
let me tell you one thing.
You don't know where you come from.
Are you gonna let me speak?
You don't know where you come from. That's the end of it. You don't know. You don't know where you come from. You don't know where you been.
That's that Wilma Flintstone coming out of you.
They can deport him to anywhere.
There go that Wilma Flintstone coming out of you.
Let me tell you the hard
part. Like Wilma.
I am Wilma. I'm from the mountains.
Where's Fred?
Yeah, Fred's in the basement sleep. Fred's in the motherfucking basement.
You got animal in your DNA. You can't tell me.
Yeah, you got animal in your DNA too.
I don't, sister.
Because guess what? My granddaddy cracked your fucking slave ass
you smell like a wet dog.
My granddaddy
your granddaddy smell like a wet dog.
My white granddaddy cracked your
like
black ass grandmother.
Your granddaddy got cracked in his fucking head. If he knew better, if my ancestors was around,
and then he made her eat herself off his
that was your granddaddy.
Yeah, my granddaddy.
No, he did that to your grandmother.
And that's how you
got your animal
That's
DNA. How you got here.
That's how you got your animal DNA. Because my grandfather cracked your black ass grandma. Yes, he cracked her. He cracked her good.
Got no white kid.
He bent that bitch over. He made her grab her motherfucking ankles. He grabbed that bitch.
No mud babies.
He made that monkey. Your grandmother's a monkey. And you made that motherfucking bitch turn over and grab her fucking ankles as he stuffed dick in her. And then he turned her around and put her on her fucking knees and she sucked herself off of him. Yeah, that's what your 8 motherfucking grandmother did. Your fucking monkey knuckle dragging ass grandmammy did. Yeah, that's what the white people do, bitch. You call me a mutt, bitch. I'm gonna talk about your fucking goddamn knuckle dragging ass grandmammy.
She about to
so
cry,
unless you don't want to talk about apes and monkeys and knuckle draggers, you tar baby bitch. You tar baby bitch. Unless you don't want to talk about that, I suggest you not to say any slurs towards me.
She got lice in
I suggest you not say any slurs towards me. Because bitch, I will put belt to ass, bitch. I will put that belt to ass, bitch. You mad because guess what? I'm no longer. My people, the mulattoes, are no longer are laying over and let y'all say what the fuck y'all want to say no more, bitch.
You got lice in your head.
Yeah, I got lice in my head, but you got bed bugs in your ass. You got bed bugs in your ass, you motherfucking white box commodity eating bitch.
You was born with a tail.
Motherfucking project living asshole.
Granddaddy was born with a tail.
Come on, monkey. Fucking food stamp first of the month ass bitch. Nigga, that's your lineage, bitch. I just ran down your whole genealogy to you, bitch. You ain't nothing, bitch. You ain't nothing.
All right, that's enough. So again, that was a biracial and a triracial and a Melungeon talking to an FBA / American Indian. He came on as FBA trying to protect the FBAs, and then after more further questioning, he became a American Indian, just like by a blink of he just switched over. He just did the whole code switching, And then so anyways, they're dragging look at these biracial sisters trying to tell the brother that he's African. The brother doesn't want to believe he's African. And they brought up examples of their white grandfathers who own plantations to try to tell him, go to our plantations and see like these logs of us keeping Africans on our plantations. And then because he came on initially to protect FBAs, and then they found out he was American Indian, and they were dragging him for that. But just look how fast it turned into these women start calling him a monkey, that her grandfather, her white slave owner grandfather, cracked his black mom, And so it's kind of disgusting, to tell you the truth. But I mean, these are the people they have more affinity to, So this is why I want to talk about the identity crisis, both with biracials and FBAs. So it's a good one. It's a good one. There is more of it. I don't want to get booted, man. I'm on restrictive. I don't want to get booted listening to this shit. But here, I'll show you guys. I will show you the picture that belongs to this, okay? Let me see if I can pull it up. I'll show you the panel and the picture on the... I'll kind of save their names because they said some racist ass shit. This is the picture.
Like nothing, bitch.
All right, calm down. This is the picture here that they had. This shit. Look at this shit. Excuse me. This is the picture they had up. As you can see at the top, it says FBA something store or something. And this is some FBA that's been on her DMs, I guess, begging for her. Oh, Jay, did you hear all that?
Yeah, who is this? Who is this picture?
Huh?
Who is this picture?
This is the girl that was talking. Did you hear her talking?
Oh, that's her?
That's her. Yeah,
oh,
that's
shit.
her.
Oh,
shit. She did an AI rendering, of her face and her body, and then this guy that's been harassing her in the DMs.
And she got this FBA man begging her?
Yeah, begging for that box.
He begging her to get that?
That's what she claims. That's what she's claiming.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I know, bro.
Did you see that AI little bullshit I sent you where they were like, the Tariq Nasheed guy was like, "Gentlemen, we have successfully delineated.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
reparations." They started the white man.
Yeah. They're like, okay, you
look at this nigga.
He had the Indian homie behind him too.
Yeah, there was some people behind him too, right? Oh god, I love it. They started laughing. That's exactly what's gonna happen to these clowns, these payasos, bro.
Seriously, they're just they're gonna be like, you did all that delineation for what?
Right. Because it's like you doing that all for the white team, man. And it's funny too, because I don't know if you saw the other one I sent you about that Lumbee tribe, and they're like, oh, they were crying, we finally are being recognized, and I'm like, recognized by whom? Oh, the federal government. Oh, you mean a white team man? Mm-hmm. Oh, so you want that too? You want it? And the lady literally said it. Oh, now we finally have a seat at the table. That's what she said verbatim, bro. I said, see, that's exactly what these FBAs want.
Wait, run that one back because I didn't see all that. I didn't see.
Yeah, because you probably didn't watch the whole thing. So yeah, this Lumbee tribe, they're now getting federal recognition. And because I guess they didn't before, and but federal recognition means white T-man is giving you a rubber stamping you. That's what that means. And then
okay, right,
because federal recognition, now you're represented by
now you're civilized.
Because the white T-man created this Bureau of Indian Affairs where he decides who gets to claim the title Native American. But that's a white. So basically, they were fighting so hard to be recognized by the white T-man. Mm-hmm. And then they finally got recognized. So they were in the video crying about it. And this man was crying, said, oh my God, thank you. And then she literally said to her mouth, she said, we finally have a seat at the table.
This is a black woman?
No, this is a Lumbee woman, the Lumbee tribe.
So are they white tea mostly?
I mean, they looked.
Are they Native American?
They didn't look phenotypically black, but they didn't look white either.
Okay, so they're right in the middle. Okay.
But my point is that why is your whole identity tribe being based on white T-man rubber stamping you? The whole framing of it is white T-man is God, and white T-man has to accept us for us to have any type of validity on Earth.
That's why I don't be trusting those.
Yeah, I don't trust them people. I'm like, nah, that's some bullshit, bro.
That's that
like
whole
y'all crying because of that shit.
You
got grown men crying because the white T-man finally accepted you, and you got to quote seat at the table. That's your words. You want to sit at the white T-man's table? What? Yeah.
So what is it now? Is it 6 civilized tribes now? Is that?
I guess. Maybe it's the 6th. But civilized in that context meant they had slaves. So I don't, that's I'm like, I don't trust none of them people because I'm like, no, you basically were fighting to be accepted. You saw the white T-man was powerful and you wanted to be accepted. So you felt, let's act like him. Let's own slaves. Let's own Negro slaves. Let's be civilized. Let's learn English. And so these people, I guess, this whole time were fighting for a seat at the table, to use her words, and they finally got it. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. That your identity is wrapped up with white people. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're sellouts. You know, they probably gave up a big chunk of their land, or there was some strings attached for sure. You know,
Right. You mean to get that recognition, right? Yeah.
right. There had to be some strings attached. Have you ever heard of the Lumbee before? Jay?
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yes, I have. I didn't know much about them, but I've heard that name, the Lumbee tribe. I didn't know what the story was behind why they didn't get, federal recognition like these other groups. But just the fact, it was just something about distasteful about how they were just so overjoyed that and they used the word recognition. It's like, so in other words, you didn't feel like you existed without a white man saying you existed. I somehow really distasteful in my mouth about. I'm like, oh God, like what? Like, oh my God, and you got grown men saying that? Like, that's not very masculine, bro. That's actually very
Right.
at all. That
that will be Tariq Nasheed with the whole FBA thing. Same
exactly.
thing.
Right. Yeah. But that's why I sent that to you because I'm like, I see a parallel there with these FBAs. That's why they don't like when I say, well, look, if you want to be recognized, you got to go to the white man, like these Lumbee people did, because that's how you're going to get it. And no. Yes. Because how you think you're gonna get it? Because you start pulling up Senate bills. Because who you think gonna get reparations? You're not asking the governments of Africa to give you reparations. You're asking the YT government to give you reparations. So what that mean? That means you got to go to the YT man, and he got to recognize you first as FBA is even a thing at all, and then he got to decide what or if any reparations you're gonna get. So you're doing the same thing these people do. You want recognition by YT people. But see, they don't like when I frame it that way because it makes them look weak and inferior. That's the problem. But you're the one positioning yourselves that way, fool, when you say you need reparations from some YT man. Yeah, right? When you're begging for something. You get what I mean? Like, instead of saying, right, that's the problem there. When you position yourself that way, you're putting yourself in that position to be seen as weak and inferior. Because you do that, because you are begging another group to give you something.
Right, exactly.
Right. And that's the problem. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, no, because it's like you're basically, it's almost like a race to the bottom. Like you're stripping your own self of agency. And you're saying that, oh no, I have no power. I have to go to these white people to get recognition. But then you can see the self-hatred because it's self-loathing. That's why you go against the other people who have nothing to do with you, like these Africans. They can't give you reparations at all. They have no power to give you or take away your reparations. So why are you even going after them? You see how you see the parallels there? Like, that's what I'm seeing with these so-called civilized tribes. I'm seeing parallels. I'm seeing a lot of parallels, bro.
No, most definitely. And then I see contradictions too, because it's like, if you're going to claim American Indian as well, a lot of these FBAs are switching over, like code switching, like what biracials do. They get to pick one side or the other whenever it's in their best interest.
Oh yeah, right. Like one day they're YT, one day they're
right. So that's where I see the parallels with FBAs and biracial people that do the same thing. Because the guy I was just showing, it was FBA coming onto the panel. He was FBA trying to protect that guy on his knees. He's like, why is that FBA brother on his knees? We don't get on our knees. And then after they picked his brain, they found out he was an American Indian. But then they interrogated him, and he couldn't name a tribe. He couldn't name, So I forgot what she said. She's like, hot glue wearing, feather wearing.
Hot glue. Oh yeah, it's like it's fake, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, they had one too where they had a one of the, so I guess they call them those FBAs claiming Native American. One of the women was wearing a headdress, and the guy was pointing. He was like, that's a male chieftain's headdress, right? Like, you don't even know the culture, bro. And you're wearing this shit. You get what I mean? It's just showing like it's all clearly cosplay.
This other brother called him out for wearing turkey feathers on the headdress.
Turkey feathers. Turkey feathers. They said, bro, we don't wear that. Turkey feathers. They don't even know
he wore it with a Aztec calendar fucking poncho.
Oh my god! So he just mixing up all kind of shit, all kind of different.
I'll try to find the video.
Holy shit! I love it.
It's classic.
Oh my god! They mix it all.
Like, is that my people?
Oh my god! But it was funny because I remember we were me and Trouble were talking. And we were talking about how you kind of did something similar, and how you was getting those East Africans pissed off. Remember? Remember when you made that one theme,
and you had you were talking about Muslims, but then you had like an East
African
African guy
Muslims
wearing
and
dressed as
Arabism.
yeah, but you had an East African guy dressed as a Saudi, and then they said, "Why are you?" And they were like, "Why are you?" They're like, bro, Habassas are not dressed like Saudis. They were getting pissed.
That one confused a lot of people, right?
Remember, they said, "Why is it?"
I took it from Nagus, this Eritrean guy. It was his picture.
Oh, that was his picture? I thought.
Yeah, that was his picture. Yeah. And it was just to show, like, that Africans could dress up in that attire and, like,
I know.
But it's specific. Is that gown and whatever that thing is called? Is that specifically to Arab people, right?
That's specifically no, that's specifically the Saudis. So you have just like a Saudi man, like a Saudi Arabian man, and they were like, they were thinking, right? He was like Eritrean, and they were like, just because you're Muslim, bro, don't mean you're just like a Saudi Arabian.
Well, because I mean, literally, it could be anybody. It could be any East African, in that attire. But then I put the flag. I put the Eritrean flag. And then I put a Somali flag there too.
Me and Trevor were laughing about that because she remembered that. She pointed that out. She's like, yeah, she remembered that shit. Like, everybody's getting pissed off. She's like, yeah, why did he do that? Because I was like, because he doesn't know, bro. He's
trying to relate the two, and whoever wanted to separate them could separate their identities. But I was just waiting for people to do it. But no, back to what I was saying about the FBA and the biracial thing that they okay, so. Did you hear all the racist stuff the Melungeon, the biracial, was saying?
No, I didn't hear any of that.
Oh, man.
I just got on when you were talking about that, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And I was like, who is this lady? I didn't know that was her, though.
Yeah, I've met her before. We were on good terms, but now I'm hearing her say all this racist stuff because they got into it, and she started calling him a monkey. And started telling him that her grandfather, cracked his mother's back, that monkey's back. Her slave owning grandfather.
But is that guy also FBA?
So that guy is FBA and American Indian at the same time.
Yeah, but that doesn't. Yeah.
So that's where I was going with this. The how they want recognition and all that. So if for the FBAs that do that thing where they want to be FBAs and American Indians, that the reparations doesn't work out for American Indians, that has already been paid out, right? So so how are they? So I think they just group up because those two groups are ready to go at it against Africans. I see more and more American Indians, the Black American Indians, going and using the vocabulary that FBAs use. Like the tether talk, the whole MAGA rhetoric, go back home, go back to Africa. So I think that's why they're teaming up, and they're, they can both claim native to here, and they can also claim everything after chattel slavery.
Yeah. No, it's it reminded me of that guy, that Babby dude that kept coming in your thing, and remember we found out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
FBA, but then I was like, oh no, but my father's really from Ghana. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of FBAs that immediately be like, yeah, bro.
I got that live recorded. I'm gonna post it soon. We got that.
Like, that's what's crazy. Like these people, because it's almost like these people don't understand. Like when these FBAs, you cannot be right. Like you got to be 100%. They don't play.
Right.
You cannot be sitting up here trying to say, oh, I'm FBA, but then come to find, oh, I'm really American Indian, or I'm really. Well, my grandmother was from Senegal. Nope. They're like, nope. Immigrant.
Nope.
You know how
You're
they
a tether.
are.
Automatic
You're
tether.
a tether. It's like, so I don't care how much rhetoric, you can go hard as you want, bro. As soon as they find that out, it's a wrap. It would be like you joining the KKK as a white man and they find out you got a black great grandmother. You're a rap.
Michael Bigsby or whatever that guy. Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, it's like you out of there. They don't play that. It's like, so it's like, I don't know why these people. Why would you want to join? Why would you want to not join? Because they're not really an organized group. But why would you want to use their rhetoric to like defend them when they don't even fuck with you like that, right? Like they don't. Like even like you learned a long time ago, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
When they were like, "What do you mean you?" Remember when we first started this, and they were like, "What do you mean us? What do you mean? Oh, we are our people." Remember they kept saying that to you, Mexican. Remember they said that was way in the beginning. You Mexican,
and I was like, "You're right. I ain't ever gonna be you guys."
Because even though, they don't. Because when they see you, they're like, even if your mom's Mexican, so therefore you can't be. Like they just, you're all make it out to them. Like they're like, "Oh, you don't understand the culture," and they, right. Like they're always gonna go, and the funny thing is I noticed that they'll always revert to that if you say something that they disagree with. Then suddenly, you don't understand because you're merely Mexican, right?
Oh yeah, I get that from
They're like,
FPS.
oh, I see the Mexican coming
Oh,
out.
you're
Now,
Spanish. That's that Spanish
you're
blood in
Spanish,
you.
right? You Spanish, so you're not gonna understand that. Oh, we see that coming out. That's not you're right. So it's like, bruh, right?
Yeah, I'm fucked either way.
Yeah. Well, you especially
I'm African to the bone, Mexican to the bone.
But then you do the same thing because you be like, oh, my African brothers and sisters. And then they find out you're Mexican too, and they be like, wait a minute. I love it. I love it. They find out you're Mexican too.
I can't. Yeah, and then the Mexicans do the same, right? No.
The Mexicans are the same. The only
Well, the
people
white
who
one.
seem to the only people that seem to embrace you are the East Africans. They accept you. They're like, oh, he say okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
even
those
then,
are the
Nakfa.
better.
Remember Nakfa?
Well, no,
he blocked me from
but he
this
knows
account.
he
blocked me from.
he did. He got banned.
Yeah. But he blocked me from this account. But he
Oh, he
still
did?
has
Why
me
did he
on my
block
other
you?
account, the Afro.
But why did he block
I
you?
don't know. I haven't talked to him since that time.
Oh, were really?
I don't know. Well,
It's
I
been
don't
a
know,
minute.
to
I
tell
was
you the
gonna
truth.
ask
I
you
just
about
I don't see him on here. I see him on my other two accounts though. So he didn't block me from those.
But do you talk to him on those other accounts?
He must have. No, I don't talk to him at all.
Oh, wow.
He said he never wanted to talk to me again.
After that?
West Africa, yeah, after West Africa booted him, he called her the B word.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
How did
And then he was
last
done
night?
with it?
How did last night go? Did you guys finish it off?
Oh yeah, I forgot you fell asleep. Yeah. We had a very great conversation. Yeah, we did finish it off. We did it at a good note. Yeah, we're definitely planning on doing it again. When we were kind of reflecting on it, what I was telling him was I was like, it would be really good if we could get someone on here that actually either worked for Ancestry DNA before, because we've already had two of those people when you're alive, or somebody who is actually in the field of genetics right now, currently. That would be really good, since that's his main thing. I'm like, I really want to hear somebody from those people's perspectives.
Yeah, they can probably give us more intel.
They probably give us more intel because they're in the field, right now. So that's why I really want to hear. So he agreed. It's like, yeah, we should definitely see, try to attract people that are, in that at the moment, because, like I said, with Nagual, one thing I do like about Nagual is he's not coming here with an agenda. He's not coming here to preach a doctrine. He's just showing, look, this is what I've learned based on the data I have. But if you have other data, let's see it. He wants to learn, and I like that.
Yeah. He's open, and
he's very open because he's not trying to preach a doctrine. He's not like, oh, my mind is made up. This is the truth, and that's it. No, he doesn't do that.
Yeah, that's what everybody does.
You're right. Everybody else in Turkey is like, oh no, this is the truth. Prove me wrong. Right. You know how those prompts go.
Yeah, I know. You got to pick a side, and you roll.
You got to pick a side, right? They're like, FBAs are Indians. Prove me wrong. Right? It'll be and that'll be the prompt. The prompt, and it's like, okay, right?
Yeah,
so because I was telling Nagual, I said because those tend to get a lot of views because they're very controversial from the jump, because somebody's actually making a proposition and telling you to disprove them. They're not saying, oh, I'm open to ideas. They're saying, oh, this actually is the way it is, right? So it's like, if you're saying that, of course you're going to get controversial. People are like, oh, no, right? Whereas if you notice our prompts, even your prompts, you do that too. Your prompts are a series of questions. They're not a series of propositions. You're not saying, you're not making a claim about something. You're not saying, oh, all blacks are really Indians, all whatever. Like, you know what I mean? That would be like you making a statement of fact. You don't do that. Your prompts also are just a series of questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Just for discussion. Come up, Captain.
Discuss. You're not, huh?
Come up, Captain. He's over here talking about tether fatigue.
Oh, Captain.
Proud tether. Yeah. 10 toes down tether. Tethered American.
Tethered American? Yeah, so that's why. So when me and Nagual were talking, we were like, it really went good though for his first live. I was like, yeah, you got 100,000 likes. Again, that was me and the vibes. We were hitting that screen.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say. He just started, so the algorithm's not gonna. I remember when I started.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to get the likes up for him, so we can get it up.
Yeah, and even then, I think even the likes. It did kind of work, but the shares help, and
we had a full panel, so that was good.
That's true. We did. We had up to like 10 people, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
So
we had a full panel, so that was good. So no, it went. I think it went great, actually. I mean, for her to be their first live, I think it went pretty good.
Right.
Definitely. So yeah, Nagual's actually. I see him. He's on right now. But yeah, hey Nagual, I see you're viewing.
He's on here. Come on up.
Yeah, he's viewing right now, but I don't know if he can talk. But yeah, it went good. I liked it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it again soon. And I just found it weird, bro, because I'm so used to being on a live where you were the host. It was so weird. I'm like, wait. Oh, he's not the host.
Yeah, well, I mean, being mod is pretty much the same thing. You can interject.
It is, but you know what I mean. But you're a little bit more quiet when you're not the host. He's a little more reserved.
I know. I had to be quiet.
You had to be quiet.
I had to whisper.
Yeah, you had to whisper. So yeah, but yeah, we had this other guy from Argentina. He was talking raw. He was cool.
Argentina. Oh yeah, I heard a little bit about him. Yeah, he was actually really honest about how racist Argentina was.
Yeah, he's like, they're racist as fuck. I was like, well, we all knew that, but yeah, he's like, yeah, they are.
We were just waiting for you to say it.
I look white. He said he looked white, so I guess he didn't get the brunt of it. But he was like, yeah, they're racist as fuck. I was like, okay, well, at least you're being honest.
At least you're being honest, exactly.
They are, yeah. So,
come on.
So yeah, that was good.
Let me see.
I gotta get some of these people to come up.
Yep. You work tomorrow, right?
No, I'm off.
Nigga,
what it do, fams? What it do?
100K liker. Breaking records out here.
Yeah.
Breaking records.
You're breaking fingers. Y'all were going crazy. I couldn't hear everybody on the panel at one point. It was funny.
Well, we were hitting that screen, bro.
Hell yeah! Thank you guys so much.
I sent you a gift too. I said, let me give him some gifts. So
I made like $1.14 last night. I was crazy about that, bro.
and then Vibes was in the comments like, I've never seen you send a gift ever. And I'm like, bro, you know how many gifts I sent y'all?
I didn't know who was giving me gifts.
Oh, you saw it? You could see it when people were giving?
No, I couldn't see it. So all I could see was
right.
At the end, I was like, I had to remember to thank people for whatever gifts they sent. But
you saw it after? Yeah, because you remember you said your screen had froze at some point, right?
Yeah, it was like it froze at about midway through the whole live. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna just chill here. But
yeah, because you were telling me, I remember you were like, you couldn't see certain people, like they were talking, but you're like, you couldn't see their profile.
Yeah, I was working from my other phone, but I started losing power on that phone, and I only had a certain amount of power. Then the truck pulled up to me. I was in the middle of a hotel parking lot. So,
okay,
yeah, but I was I had fun last night, and that was the most. I was most.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was good.
I'm looking forward, like you guys were saying, though. I am looking forward to like having some type of geneticist on there.
Yeah, I would love to hear it, bro. That would be amazing if we get on there and we could talk to them about it and present our documents and see what they say. I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, just to have a professional substantiate some of these positions.
Yeah, right.
But I'm also kind of worried because like most professionals wouldn't be interested in negating their profession.
Right, changing their stance.
Yeah, I mean, they could put themselves at risk. You understand?
Well, because their job depends on it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So that I would hope that they would see that. I mean, we're all neutral enough to where they would see we wouldn't be attacking anybody or trying to put them in a precarious situation.
Right. Well, I was thinking even like in terms of like when we had the people that were from Ancestry, worked for Ancestry DNA on Vibes panel. This was a while ago. Like I want to say maybe 6 months ago. And I remember she didn't necessarily challenge what she was doing. She just told us, okay, what was the process like as far as the internal process? Just to even give us an insight about that. And I was like, okay, interesting, right?
Like taking the samples, putting through a centrifugal PCR.
Yeah, like she was telling us what they were using, and I was like, okay, well that's interesting, and how they make the decision based on what I'm like, okay, well that's interesting just to even see that, like to know, okay, so this is right, the inner workings of what they're doing. So that was interesting.
Yeah, I've actually I have enough material. If we can't get somebody like that, I could actually present some of that material, but it'd be better to have an actual professional present it,
Right. Yeah. No, I think so. It would be good. I mean, we had another guy that was into that as well, and he was kind of substantiating it, but they don't really. I think the issue is that, like you were saying, Nagual, like when we're really talking about is like the whole field itself, like substantiating the field itself, and I don't think these people necessarily do that. They just talk about what they do, particularly, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're not interested in the entire narrative.
Yeah, the entire narrative, like challenging that, like, wait a minute, why? Like, they're not challenging the axioms and the assumptions that they are working from. They're just like, oh, this is what we do, right? They just do it, taking it for granted. They don't even think about it, right? So
that's the funny thing. One time when I was during COVID, I actually ran into a microbiologist from a local lab here in a near town of mine, and he was so demeaning in his position from a hierarchical stance, and he was trying to feed me literature. Like, here, you might want to get familiar with some of the linguistics, you know. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? I mean, I did this like 10 years ago, and he actually came to the realization that he had no idea that COVID was a chimeric organism. So if you know what a chimeric organism is, it's in order to be a chimera, it has to be genetically spliced and grafted together. So it showed that it's a synthetic organism, and he was completely unaware of that, being a microbiologist, actually at that exact moment developing a so-called test for COVID. So he got kind of embarrassed online on Facebook, and then he kind of pushed back even more, so I pushed back further, and I have the whole thing on my BitChute channel. But
Wow.
that's the way it is. Like, most people just start at a point and they move outward. They don't go into the historical context, and that's really.
Niguel, where are you gonna post that whole live from yesterday?
I didn't even get a copy of it. Did you guys get it?
No,
I said it.
you have to have a copy of it.
No, I didn't. I swear. I said it.
I'll
the
show you
second
where to
so that
look.
you guys
I'll
would
show
get
you
one.
where to look to get it.
I can
Maybe.
find it.
Yeah, you can find it. I'll show you. But here, let me
Okay,
introduce
cool.
Mr. Call Ice right here. No doubt. Welcome to the panel. Can I get you to state your race, your ethnicity, and where you're from? No doubt. No doubt. Unmute.
I'm Black American.
Okay, whereabouts in America?
Ohio.
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 Okay, welcome to
Are
the
you
panel.
are you pro immigration?
No,
Oh, okay.
not pro immigration. Obviously, you're pro immigration.
No, I'm pro kick them out of here immigration.
Oh, so you want them to actually get a boot as well while they get
Hell
deported?
yeah, I want them to get out.
Are you for them getting $1,000 if they deport themselves?
Absolutely not. Just let Trump kick them all out.
Wow, like even the kids and all that.
Even the kids and all that. Let them go
Oh
up. Let them
man,
go down
Especially the
just as
kids,
fast
bro.
as they
you
came
you
up.
a special type of evil. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
especially those kids, man. They deserve it most.
I don't give a shit. Let them get up out of here.
Defected
wow.
aliens, man. They're just like
So,
pitiful, you know.
Nah,
Parasites on the
no.
system.
Hey, every
all right,
time
no doubt.
something
No doubt.
happens,
So you're not an FBA. You're just a Black American. You're just a racist Black American.
yeah, you can call me that. Whatever floats your boat.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Okay.
speaking of boats, I mean, you're a Black American, you know.
Yeah, totally.
So, anyways, no doubt. Can you answer one of the two questions up there for me, please?
Nah,
You
I
see 'em?
can't see him. I don't got my glasses right now.
All right. Let me give you one. Okay. First one is.
The fat guy with you was trying to be funny. The
Okay,
donut.
I can't really see it either because
Is
of
that
this.
your co-host?
Let me
It
see.
says,
The
isn't
fat
rejecting
man?
Africans
Is
just
the fat
externalizing
guy
the
your
same identity
co-host?
crisis by racials internalized?
Oh, so you can see it. You can see it, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay. Go ahead and read them out the question. I'll be right back.
All
I
right.
gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, the first question is, isn't rejecting Africans just externalizing the same identity crisis by racials internalized?
Hell no. Black Americans aren't Africans. Who told you that?
No. We're saying, isn't the same identity crisis?
Hell no, it ain't an identity crisis.
Oh, because you're saying Black Americans are not Africans. That's what
Hell
you're saying.
no, we not Africans.
Do you say so? It
Who
can't
told
be
you that?
the same as what you're saying because they're not Africans to begin with. There's not their identity. Is what you're saying.
Hell no. Africans is ugly
So
as
what is
shit.
their identity then?
I don't give a shit what they are. I don't know. You
No. I'm talking about the you said the so-called Black Americans. What is their identity?
Whatever you would like to call them, I guess. Hey, let me
Yeah.
ask you a question. What
Go
is a
ahead.
$5 Indian?
I've never heard of that term.
You
A
have
$5 Indian is somebody back in near the 1850s where they were paying $5 to be put on the Dawes rolls to
Yeah, like Fat
substantiate
Ass
their.
just said. He knows. So
Yeah.
I want to understand. So who are the $5 Indians now?
Well, the 90% of them are actually YT.
Right. So so the real ones that look white are the real natives, and the fake ones are the white people.
I'm sorry, that was a real confusing assertion there. Could you say that again,
I
please?
know, because you're an idiot. I said the real ones look white. They're white passing. And the fake ones are the real white people.
Okay,
You're a
sure.
dumbass. You're only good at Dunkin' Donuts, I can tell. But anyway, so
Dunkin' Donuts. Wow.
yeah, you're a fat ass. I can tell by the way how you sound. You need to keep your
Fat? Wow.
fat
That's
ass.
crazy.
What?
You need to go to the gym and
Nah,
don't
I
make
think
any
I
more
think you're right,
broke
bro.
comments. Don't make any more racial comments, fat buddy. Because I got a couple. I have my own jokes I can throw at you guys right
Hey, no
now.
doubt, bro. No doubt, fam. You
That's
got them
right.
all over the place.
Wait, now just hold on, big belly.
All right,
Just
then.
hold on here. I don't like fat asses either. Just like I don't like Africans. Black
Yeah,
Americans are not Africans.
I
We
know
don't look like that.
this
We
legal
don't. We
status.
don't. We don't. We don't subscribe to the "we come from apes."
Yeah, I understand that. But
So
the
and so.
term,
Wait. Let's go to the 1871 Darwin theory that says all life started out of Africa, and so you guys think that all black people come from Africa. That
you're
starts with an ape.
no, you're incorrect. That's 1859, November 25th.
Okay. Thank you for the correction. So
Origin
that
of species
starts
by
with
means of
an
natural
ape.
selection or the
Wait, just
preservation of
hold
favored
on.
races in the
Just
struggle for life.
hold. That starts.
Hold on. You guys remember? You guys are mods too. You can mute his dumbass.
Oh, I don't mind him. He's
We don't mind
He's
him.
got
Y'all can mute his. I'm not even gonna say what he said. No doubt, you don't even know your facts. All right. So when you come up here, know your facts before you start uttering bullshit out your
That,
fucking
but
mouth.
the features of the ape didn't land on the black man because
I
we
know
don't have
the
thin
black man
lips.
landed on the
We
feature of the
don't
apes.
get lice, and we don't have pale skin, and we don't have big ears. So wherever the monkey's features, the ape and the monkey's features are, there lies the monkey.
You know what I really
Am
feel
I?
you need?
Are we
You need that.
computing now?
You need that
Is
planet of the
there a
FBAs,
problem?
bro.
Is there a
You need that
problem?
planet of the
Listen,
FBAs up there.
so you can't have the monkey without his features. We don't get lice. We don't have big ears, and we don't have thin lips.
Who
No
accused
pale
you of being a
skin.
monkey?
The monkey and ape, they both look the same. If you really want to just get
But
technical.
I mean, who's accusing you
So
of
wait a
being
minute.
one?
So wait. The guy that just called me like I was a stupid ass, the bum, the loser. Let him
Me, the
talk.
fat one? Me, the fat one
No,
or the
it
other one?
wasn't you. It was the other clown that's with you.
Oh, okay.
Let that idiot talk. Yeah, that's because that's what you are.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
the
yeah.
features lie with you.
Yeah.
The thin lips, the lice,
The lice,
the big
especially.
ears.
I
Huh?
like to eat them off
Huh?
my girlfriends. I eat them off my
Man, I
girlfriends.
don't give. Hey, listen, I've had my share of white girls. I put it in their mouth. Wait, you
No
don't want to
doubt,
play
bro.
these games? Wait a minute. See, you thought y'all was funny. I thought y'all was gonna come and be a little racist, but I have my own
Oh, I'm racist to the
shenanigans.
core,
I got
bro.
my own
Absolutely.
jokes. I am a motherfucker. I am racist against my own people and you and anybody else.
Got to be equal
I am
opportunity,
a
bro. Got to be equal
motherfucker.
opportunity.
So let's talk trash. Now, where is the one that said I was stupid? Let's get him to the forefront. The one with the monkey noises that really is the monkey.
Oh, the
Because
fat
the
guy?
features of the monkey
The fat guy.
have to lie with the people.
You talking about the fat guy with the belly?
No, that ain't what I'm talking about.
Aaron's grandma came.
Okay.
You on the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm about to go out.
Go ahead. I gotta go. I gotta quit
All right,
playing with the
well, no doubt.
trash.
It was a pleasure, bro.
No,
Always a
I
pleasure.
gotta
Come back
leave.
anytime. We
Fuck
welcome you.
y'all. Y'all some hoe ass bitches. And I'm gonna get up off here. That's why y'all only got like 7 people in here. You thirsty sons of bitches. 8
We'll take care of
man
those 12
and
kids.
his funky ass clown face, bitch. My girl about to leave. I gotta walk her out the door, trash.
All right, fam. Much love, brother. Stay black. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was wild. I didn't know bro. That was the most. I was like, what just happened here?
Yeah,
Who the fuck was that? I'm like, who the fuck was that, bro? I don't know if he was talking to you, vibes. I don't know who he was even directed, bro.
He needed somebody to direct it out, so
That was wild.
I
I'm
placed
like,
my
what?
carcass out in the middle of the road there.
Yeah, because I'm like, first he was talking to you, then he was talking to. I'm like, bro? Who is he talking to? Like, at first I thought that y'all guys have a previous conversation or what?
Nah, I never met the guy in my life, but I
You never met
see him again.
You never met the guy in your life, right?
I wouldn't mind seeing him again. I mean, shit, I had everything he was talking about. I had to inform him of.
Yeah, right. Then he's like, wait.
He's like, you know what $5 Indian is? I'm like, yeah. I gave him the exact time, the application of it, who were the people. He even messed up the origin of species.
And he said 1871 or something, right?
Yeah, that's the Descent of Man. That was Darwin's second book.
Yeah, because I'm like, what? Yeah, that was wild, bro. I don't know. Some of these people in here, they're a little unhinged, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, it was. I mean, it was worthy passing the time. You know.
You just passing the time.
You know, it might as well be entertained. You know, I mean, that's the thing about when people like recently the Port City. There's a post that I have, and Yaqub, you remember that one Yaqub dude?
Yeah.
So he one time he said, you ain't even in black. Why are you up in black people's business? And I actually made a post. I said, look, Yaqub, between you and I, this is the title of the post. I said, who's more black, me or Yaqub? And everyone was saying me. and so Port City just recently found that title of that video, and he posted it up on his page. And I'm like, all right, free advertising, you know. I was like, people don't understand that everything that I post is literally poetry. So it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's meant to invoke an emotional and conscious response of some sort, you know, just to get a reaction. It doesn't matter what type of reaction I get. It's poetry. It's meant to move a person. So
well, sorry.
Yeah, no, you got it. You understand.
I was gonna say it's so interesting because I see you speak in such a when you're speaking, I can't. It's not word eloquence is not the word I'm looking for, but it's a certain way you talk, which is very authoritative in terms of when you present information that a lot of times people can't tell when you're being facetious, but I can tell when it's hilarious. I don't know if you remember, this was a few months ago, but we had this guy on, and I think he was Somali. I think he may have been Somali, I think he was Somali, and he was a Muslim. And he was saying something about, I think he was going on about his religion, and he was like, da-da-da, and these people are trash, you know, but you understand all this is just my opinion. And you went to,
oh, bro, that was J Money, bro.
And you said all this crazy. You said, I think it's garbage. I think this garbage, but it's my opinion.
I was all rough, woof, woof.
I remember that. And I think it went over people's heads, but I knew exactly what you were doing because as soon as you started talking, I said, "Oh, he's gonna mirror everything this guy just said and said." But it's my opinion.
Yeah. That's what I couldn't. I mean, he was so hypocritical and ironic, you know, and it was just it had to be reflected. That's the thing when I actually do make a post for somebody, they don't understand what they're engaged in. I've done this literally thousands of times with people.
Yeah.
So I'm so used to I already know their reactions because somebody else previously has given me that reaction. So I already have the literature prepared for their assertions. So I'm just waiting for their reactions because they're predictable. And then what people don't understand is when they engage me, they think that they're in a debate, and I'm in a ritual. You know, so I'm literally, they determine my behaviors by their demeanor. So whatever demeanor they present, I'm going to reflect as the clearest, stillest image so that they get to deal with themselves. And therein lies the ritual. So it's like, I'm not offended by anything. It's like, why would anybody, you're good at this too, Jay. Why would anybody be offended by somebody who means absolutely nothing in their life?
Exactly. That's like, always saying.
They can say anything they want. I'd be like, okay, cool. You know, like I don't give half a fuck about your opinion.
Yeah,
you know? But I'm interested in you saying it. I mean, yeah.
Right, because it's like I'm not here to try to get. In other words, we are not here to be valid. We're not here presenting things to be validated by people. Like our like we're not looking for some type of ego boost. So like I'm not on here to present stuff to get an ego boost. Like, oh, I want you guys to validate me and say yay for me so I can feel good. It's like, no, I don't care.
Yeah, most of the time, like even with that. So last night was so funny with that woman that entered. She was drunk and so incoherent. And it was funny because she actually stumped us all. Like we didn't know how to react. I didn't know how to react. I was just trying to try to make some sense out of her. What she was spewing, and I was like, I couldn't make any sense. And then you were like,
Hey, don't talk about my girlfriend like that, bro.
No, and no, Bob, you didn't get the comments because me and the Gual were talking in the comments, and the Gual was like, "Bro, it's time for you to give her the Sandman, bro." And I was like, "No, Vibes should do it because he's built a rapport with this woman."
Yeah.
And then because Vibes loves doing that, and I'm like, let him drop her.
She was so weird. I mean, it was
I
like,
did drop her eventually.
yeah.
dropped
What
her.
happened to the other guy? Did you guys have to drop him? He was unhinged.
No, he left. He
bounced,
got to
yeah.
walk his girlfriend somewhere.
Oh, walk his girlfriend.
That's what he said. And then somebody in the comments was like, "Oh, she's going to get this." Yeah, they were
What's up,
implying she was
Mike P? I
going
didn't
to
even
see
see
another
Mike P
dude.
down
But
there,
yeah,
man.
right.
What up, man? Yeah, that
But
was that woman. I mean, I rarely
she was
am I stumped and confused. Never, hardly ever. That woman had me in a twist. I was just like, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's why people in the comments were like, "Oh, it's not good to have people on her drunk." And I was like, "No, you're right because she may not be in her right mind and may, you want to embarrass her, and then she sees this later somewhere and then be like, "Oh my God, what was I saying?" So like, yeah, that's why I was like, "Yeah, we should just drop her." But I just waited for her to finish what she's saying, then I dropped her because she wasn't being mean. She just was not in her right,
Incoherent.
Yeah. But then I said, "Vibes found his soulmate" because yeah.
Oh, because we both drink.
Because you both be in a
I hate you, Jay.
You be having your rages too. Your rages just. So
She hit me
Yeah, I
with
would
a
have been
GM.
interested to hear that woman sober.
yeah.
'Cause
No,
what
that's what I'm saying. I think because she was listening for a while. And she was like, "Oh, I think she said she passed out. I guess she was drinking, but she was listening to us, and then she passed out, and then she woke up.
Yeah.
So she was feeling herself. It was fine. She wasn't rude or anything. She just was not.
She was she was late. So because the Somali guy was on like a half hour before that she
Yeah, she
woke
had passed
up.
out. But
Yeah,
that was the last person she heard. That's why she started talking about him. We were like, "Oh, that was a long time ago when he was on here."
Yeah,
He was going up
we were
there.
all just discombobulated. We were trying to make sense. We weren't exactly insulted by her, but just there was no point of her contributions. It didn't relate to anything at that moment.
Right, yeah. Yeah, she was, But Vibes, he had a rapport with her, so I was like, let him handle her, because
I thought I was going to get the digits, honestly.
The only rapport I had with her is because I thought she had me confused. I thought she was talking to me the whole time, but she was talking to Somali dude.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
No, because remember, you were like, I'm the only African on this panel, so she got to be talking to me, because I was like, yeah.
Right. But then she said she was talking about that first Somali dude that came up, remember?
Yeah. It was he's a prince of something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she was talking about him, right. Mm-hmm.
So he came up on a live I was on. He was like, "Would everyone follow me, and I'll follow you, and I'll support your material?" And I was like, "All right," So I did it, and then his material is very odd, and so I was like, last night I was actually debating because he came up and he immediately started wanting to beef with Dr. Wilson, and Dr. Wilson's hardly confrontational, but he does put up points of contention, but he's rarely abrasive in any way. And so I saw him in the comments, not even having talked, and he was like, "When's this guy gonna be over? I want to talk." And I was like, "Geez, man!"
Mm-hmm.
And then he got up and he had nothing to say. That was the weirdest thing.
Right. Yeah, and then Vibes, the love of his life, she was lurking in the comments section as well. When I'm in the viewership. Yeah, that's why I was like, "Oh, come on!" I'm like, "Here we go."
Yeah.
Here we go. See, Vibes, he got a lot of amantes on here. Amantes.
Oh, what's up, Mike P?
What's up, bro?
What's going on, Negua? What's going on, Jay? What's going on, Vibes? Everybody all right?
Yeah, man. Nice to see you in the panel, bro.
Yeah, bro. It was interesting when you were talking about yesterday because we were talking about the genetics thing because like you brought up training because like I train too, I lift, and I was saying like there's certain based on your genetics. Everybody looks different. Everybody can develop differently. Like, it's not there. That's just something that you either have or you don't. And that's what I meant when I was talking about superior and things of that nature. Like we're talking about calves. And I'm like, yeah, there are certain groups that have superior calf muscles. That's just how they have. They don't have to do much. They just get them. Right. That's all I was talking about. I wasn't saying though, but therefore they're somehow more desirable or more worthy than somebody who doesn't. I think it was like, I felt like that was being read into the word superior and inferior. And maybe that's because of how the white tea people use it, but that's not what I meant when I was saying it. I was just talking strictly from like a developmental standpoint.
Well, yeah, the way I received it was more or less is that these were like relative terms where more or less probability applies. Like, whereas I would have an inclination to have developed a certain way because of my genetics, not necessarily that they're superior and inferior compared to somebody else. And I kind of feel like the conversation was may have been misunderstood, that, you know, where there was some sort of metric where one group of people was better than the other, when it's more or less a matter of just how do I put it?
How specialized they were.
It's a matter of how specialized they were, yep, and how they unfold in their development under certain conditions. Because again, just like we were saying yesterday, you could take me and put me in a different environment, and it's really no telling what the outcome may be when I'm in a different environment. I might perform better, I might perform worse, or my performance may suffer. So we just can't automatically assume that because we have a particular type of DNA that we would automatically do well in any environment. But I will say that if you got a group that's got like maybe 3 or 4 DNA strands versus 2, I would say the probability of having a better chance of adapting to a different environment would probably be a matter of who has more DNA strands or information or codes in them to respond to a new environment versus somebody that only has 2, where they might have to develop new DNA strands in order to cope with this new environment. So that's where I was going with it.
Yeah, like and I agree with that. That's why I was saying that, like, I brought up that thing about, you know, like you said, and I think there's genetics, but also environment as well, and how maybe certain people with certain genetics would be able to thrive and be very successful in one environment, but not the other. That's why I brought up that thing about the Eskimos in the North. And I remember the one guy, he was trying to say, oh, well, they did a study where they put some people who were dark skinned there, and they also were able to survive. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how many one study doesn't necessarily demonstrate conclusively how everybody who's dark skinned would be able to adapt there. I said, but even if that was the case, they survived. I'm not talking about just mere survival. I'm talking about actually being successful there and thriving. Like, those people have been living there for thousands of years. You could put people there, but that doesn't mean just because you're there and you could survive, those people may be better at it than you are. And that's what I meant when I was saying superiority versus inferiority in those terms, because when you look at especially when it comes to things that are physical in nature, your body structure, if you even take men and women, because you're a man, men and women have different body anatomical structures. There are certain physical things that men will be able to excel at over women and vice versa. That is just you know what I mean? And so when I say superior and inferior, I'm talking about in certain scenarios. In certain scenarios, a woman, because of her physical structure, may be superior in this particular thing than a male, and vice versa. But that doesn't mean that's only in that area. What I was trying to fight against, that this guy seemed to be implying, is some type of general superiority. Like, oh, so if a man is superior in this one thing, he's superior in all things. I'm like, no, that's never the case, because environment, like you said, is key. Different environments will require different, physical attributes to be successful there, right? Like living in a desert versus living in a jungle versus living in the North Pole, right? Versus living, on some type of, in an island or something. Those are different environments to call for different things. So there can never be some human that would be the best in all areas. That just wouldn't even make sense. You understand?
Absolutely, Jay. And if I want to build on that real quick. So, some years ago, I was wondering why I had such a hard time with leg development, and there was a male-female comparison, and women have the way their respiratory system and their vascular system is set up is one of which they are better at.
Mike, you cut out.
Yeah. I thought it was me.
Yeah. No, it's Mike. Mike, you cut out. We can't hear you if you're talking.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm back.
There we go. Yeah, we hear you now. We hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, so women may be better at developing their legs, whereas men may be stronger, but we have more of a fight to get our legs to be just as strong as theirs or supersedes theirs. Likewise with upper body exercises, men are better at it than women are. Now, there's some women out there that are pretty strong and stronger than a lot of men, but men happen to be able to excel better and easier at that, whereas it's different in the lower body region. Yep. So I'm with you on that.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So I think also like going back to superior versus inferior, that whole concept. The issue where I think people, have pause when it comes to using that close concept is because the fact that how historically white people have used that and they've defined it in their terms. So they decide what's superior. Oh, if you have to meet these criteria, you have to be excel in this particular subject to be considered superior as a human at all. And I think that's the whole problem. If you decide that excelling only in one area, in one environment determines superiority as a human in general, then the word does become biased towards that, right? Because it's like, okay, so then that if I did, for example, like you brought this thing about women are easier for them to have leg development than men. So if I decide that having the most well-developed legs is the mark of superiority of being a human being, then women, right, as a collective will be superior to men. If I decide that, if we have a society, so let's say make up a hypothetical matriarchal society where they've determined that that's what it means to be superior. You have to have superior leg development. Then women are always going to be men for the most part, right? So that's why I'm like, but that's clearly arbitrary. They just decided that. And that's how, unfortunately, Western Europeans, that's what they've done. But that's why I don't like when people use words like, developed nations, civilized, these type of concepts, because what are they calling upon? Their reference point is actually Western Europe. And what Europe decides is so-called superior.
Yeah, standard of measure.
But what they don't tell you is that only works in Western Europe. If you leave the confines of Western Europe and go to other places in the world, that what they consider superior may do nothing for you. Right? And they now work in Antarctica with the penguins. What they teach you, right? So it's like, what do you get what I mean?
That's exactly why I like Matthew Henson. It's like most people would assume that so-called black people nearest the equator would not be equipped to endure the harsh North Pole environment, and that white men would be most superior in that region because that's what their historically their lineages are associated with that type of environment. But the fact of the matter is, Matthew Henson is the first man to reach the North Pole, and you can see how long he spent up in that region. He actually beat the white man to the North Pole before the white man could make it. The white was breaking down and almost lost his life in the process.
What do you mean? You're saying he was the first man in the North Pole? I thought the Eskimos went there.
No, he's the first person to reach the actual North Pole. No one actually set out.
And then we know, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is all.
I'm like, how do we know they didn't meet? I mean, right?
But what I like is the fact that people wouldn't assume that a so-called African American man who's most nearest the equator that require. I see the argument all the time from so-called black folks that they're like, look, we wouldn't exist up in the regions. We have to live in this area because this is necessary for our existence. I'm like, no, it's not. We can adapt to any environment. That's just completely false.
Oh yeah, humans adapt.
Yeah,
what I will say is because of the issue with melanin and stuff like that, if somebody who's dark skinned is not northern climates are not ideal because of vitamin D production and vice versa. So I would say that, but that doesn't mean we can't survive.
Well, then this man here, he spent nearly 23 years in that environment. 18 years.
That's what I'm saying, because we can adapt. But see, you have to also remember, not everybody. That's another thing. That's why I don't like those generalizations. Because see, when they make these claims about stuff, there's always people who are exceptions to the rule.
The outlier, yeah.
Yeah, you can't never say so. Every dark skinned person, because like you just said, like people are probably shocked. Okay, well, this guy's dark skinned. How was he able to reach the North Pole and live there for all these years? You would think somebody who was paler skin would be, but it's right, because he's an exception to the rule. He can live there. He can thrive. It's like fine. But that's why I'm saying that's why I don't like these generalized things about, oh, well, this group is superior in this area because they all are this, or that's why that genetics thing. I'm like, but see, genetics is weird because, like I said, going back to even when you're talking about training, lifting, bodybuilding, everybody is not the same. Everybody is built differently. So you're never going to have this across the board thing where you can say, oh, everybody who comes from this group who has this genetics is going to excel in this. That's just not true. It's just totally false. That's why I was like, when he was talking about yesterday, we were talking about sports and football players. I'm like, well, no, the football players that make it, there's an elite group of those. Those are an elite group of themselves. And then of that, you have a sub-elite group that's even higher, I guess like the alpha group or whatever, that's like the highest pinnacle of this. But you can't say that all those people are from the same background, have the same genetics. That's just you making shit up. You're creating like a group you're creating a cohort that doesn't exist and trying to claim, oh, it's genetically based. Because once you do that, you start generating paradoxes because it just is not true. Right?
The case with Matthew Henson, what I was assuming was that this type of adaptation would happen over generations, to be able to not only exist in that type of environment, but thrive in it, past people who's, quote, genetically built for that type of environment. I mean, I would expect possibly his son's son to be able, after, a couple generations, to adapt to that environment that quickly. But the fact that it happened in a single generation is quite astounding.
And funny enough, he could have had, and the funny thing enough, he could have had other people who were actually related to him who may have not survived in that environment.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Well, the other thing is the assignment of his ethnicity and cultural identity. They're assigning him African American ancestry, but judging by what we know now, like he could have been from anywhere. And there's a lot of people from those northern regions that we're just not aware of in past history, because that history's been, obviously. Right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you pointed out. This calling him an African American explorer is already a prescription in of itself. You've already just had to prescribe him some identity that, what he says, he was born in 1866. Right. You see what I mean? He wasn't born in 1966. So what do you mean African American idea? You get what I mean? Like, that's why I'm like, you see how they do that? But see, that's that whole, and see, Nagual, that's what I'm talking about when I start talking about revisionist history. When people try to go back after the fact and look at people from the past and say, oh, these persons were this. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Right. They're going to just assign you to their group. But the thing is that whole, as I told you before, we had that conversation yesterday about history and the historical narratives that were written in the 19th century. That's exactly what the YT people did. They took people who had nothing to do with their actual group and subsumed them into their group. Right. And decided that the history of the Greeks in Athens was same history as the people in England. And I'm like, no, nothing to do with each other. What are you talking about? Right. But you see how they do that? Oh, but they were white. I'm like, well, okay, but whiteness is a modern concept. So you just created a whole new concept and decided to subsume people into your group that never identified with you, anything to do with you. You have no relation whatsoever. So it's like you just made up a whole group. It's called an imagined community. It doesn't exist.
Yep. They're just painting everything white and calling it theirs.
Yeah, man.
Right. And unfortunately, I see it. Unfortunately, with people who self-identify as black too. Not all of them, but it's the same thing. Because see, the problem is once you accept these racial paradigms that are made up, people tend to work within that framework. It's a YT framework, so they'll do the same thing, but say, "Oh, well, these people were black," and I'm like, "What do you mean black?" I'm like, "Okay, they looked like us." Okay, but does that mean they were your people? Because a people group is an ethnic group. Did you guys share the same culture, the same custom, same language? If you didn't, then what do you mean your people? You're doing the same thing the YT people are doing. You're trying to claim people who had nothing to do with you just based on phenotype, but that's not how ethnicity has ever been. People didn't historically delineate based on phenotype.
No, that's a very recent application.
That's a recent modern concept. So even when so-called black people do the same thing, I look at them too. I'm like, well, you're doing exactly what the YT man is doing because that's who you learned it from. That whole concept of trying to say my people basically treat so-called races as ethnicities that are made up when that's not that doesn't work that way. So it goes both ways. That's why I'm all about dismantling the whole racialist framework, because it especially when it comes to history, people want to take that modern racialist framework and then anachronistically apply it to people who had nothing to do with that, who existed long before it existed. And it becomes highly problematic.
Yeah. And not only that, we're actually setting the standard for the entire planet, being in this specific culture. The pinnacle of
Innovation.
Yeah, innovation. Thank you very much. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Wait, you said who does that? What?
Well, it's all of these constructs. Like, most people aren't aware of the fact that this whole so the construct of race theory was developed in Europe, but it was tried out and made popular here in the United States. So this is actually the testing ground, and so they make this country so desirable because it's like the pinnacle of innovation, on all levels. We have the smartest scholars, the most talented athletes, the most influential artists, all this shit. But it's like holding that torch. We're what the entire planet emulates, or tries to emulate, and specifically, I would say, so-called Black culture, because just music, the dance, everything. I mean, hip hop is worldwide. You know what I'm saying? All this shit, and then we come out with applications such as FBA, and then the whole world's looking at us and like, oh, we should jump on that train because that's what the Americans are doing right now. The Americans, it's just.
Oh right, yeah.
We're posing as the models for the entire planet, and we're not leading by a very good example, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's why that guy, when he was saying, remember, he was saying, oh, well, if you take Black Americans, you put them in somewhere in Africa, they'll do this, this, and that. And I'm like, well, how do you know that? You have to compare, like you would have to have an actual historical study, a case in where, you had modern Black Americans go to Africa, in mass somewhere, and go there and then see how they adapted. You can't you're just positing something. That's why I'm like, when that Dr. Williams was here and he was like talking about environments, because he was like bringing up what we were all saying. Well, you have to remember, the Black Americans came up in the United States of America, which is the most powerful country on earth. So, it's kind of like, yeah. Like, it's not like, what do you, in other words, it's like they have advantages that people from other places don't have. Even with the oppression, even with the segregation, they still had advantages that people from other parts of the world did not have. And that's just a fact. So what do you expect, right?
Yeah, I often break it down to people. I'm like, that art, I do this, intensely. People who are other than YT, I'm like, look, you possess white privilege. They're like, what? Shut up. I'm like, no, you do. You have a passport. You can go travel the world anytime you want because you're a part of this culture. That in itself is YT privilege. You may not interpret it as such, but it's a privilege that's given to you by them. So therefore, a criminal society criminalizes its own constituents. Everybody's now what's it called? Man, my words are at a loss lately. But it's just automatically implied, and you're included in the criminality by being a part of this culture. It's like you can't escape it.
Yeah, well, and I think also too, when they start doing these comparisons with Black Americans versus Africans, what I see hidden behind that is also using YT man's, again, going back to what's considered superior.
Yeah.
Because they're using them as a reference point to, what has been achieved here. Oh, they didn't have that, so therefore they're inferior. That's why I corrected that guy when he kept talking about third world countries, and I'm like, well, you're not even using that correctly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, all that is a complete made up construct. That's a YT construct at that, right? That you're trying to then apply to other people. Oh, well, after these third world countries, well, where did you get that from? Yeah. Who taught you third world? Yeah, right? You see what I mean?
Yeah, a third world can only be complemented and be created by a first world. So by nature.
And what happened to the second world? They never talk about that because they don't even understand the concept of what that means. They don't understand where it comes from. Or
second year, if you're second, if you're not first, you're last. Yeah,
it's like either first or third world, but they missed the second world. I'm like, well, what happened to the second world countries? What about those?
I gotta hunt that shit down. That literature, man.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, they don't seem to understand that they're working from a YT paradigm and then trying to compare themselves to African countries and African peoples when it's like, okay, but your only reference point is the YT man, what he taught you.
Yeah.
You're not looking, you know what I mean? So therefore, by definition, it's an apples to oranges comparison because you are not looking at them at their own merit compared to their other groups. You would have to look at people within that own thing. You can't say, I'm going to compare somebody, right? Because going back to environments, you can't compare somebody peoples who are in a desert versus peoples who grew up on a tropical island. It's a totally separate group. They don't have the same needs. They don't have the same, right? But that's what they're exactly doing because they've already decided before they even began what is superior.
Yeah, you're working with the concept,
right? Like superior for them means having electricity, having this, having that. No, if you don't have that, you're not superior. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's how you define superiority, because that's a YT concept, superiority means that, we have enough power to come in and take over people and colonize and unalive people. And that's how they define superiority. So I'm like, okay, well, if that's your definition, then yes, the YT people are superior. If that's what we're going to all decide is the meaning of superiority.
Yeah.
Then that, of course, it's like, but then there's no need to talk at that point if that's what we decided, because then that would just be what it is. So, but what I'm challenging is what I question is why are we saying that? Why have we decided that? Why is that superior?
I loved it that we went into the Olympics, and I was like, I think that we should have Olympics where we're how fast we can build a homeless a home. You know, like why isn't that the Olympics? You know,
right? Because it turns out if we have an Olympics about who can build the fastest home, it may be some people. It may be who, for all we know, it could be some group we never heard of that could be the fastest, right? It could be the Manchus of northern China.
All of a sudden, Somalia winning the gold every year.
Yeah, it could be the Manchu or China. It could be some obscure group. It could be some pygmies in Africa. You know, it could be anybody. Talking about they was the fast. Oh, now they're the superior people on earth, right? So it's like the whole concept is arbitrary, but people talk about it as if it's just self-evident. Oh, we all know it's superiors. It's if you know the YT version of it. They don't say that, but then you find out that's exactly what they're using as a reference.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, okay.
No, I used to watch those TikToks with the Indonesians. They would just go out into the middle of a jungle, clear field, and build this elaborate house with a pool with sticks and mud. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, huh? These guys are primitive? You know, waterfalls and everything. I'm just like, they made it out of nothing. Literally their hands and sticks.
Well, or even like I'll see like these stupid posts on Twitter where they'll be like they'll put these pictures up and they'll be like, oh, Germany, France, Austria, and they'll show like all these like modern cities or everything, and then the last picture will be Africa.
Yeah,
and they'll show like. A house built with out of wood or whatever, and but the point is, I'm like, okay, well, you clearly see this is already completely a fallacious comparison because you compare first 3 modern nation states with an entire continent, then you use a very specific part of the continent. You didn't use so it's like, but I notice people, but all that tells me is that that's what the people who are actually physically creating those images, that's what a lot of people are mentally thinking too. That's how they mentally think. It's this fallacious thinking, this fallacious reasoning.
There's actually industries that are made to create those types of memes and stuff that will intentionally belittle other than YT countries, across the world. That's just propaganda that they literally spew out by the millions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've actually seen that. There's evidence of this stuff before. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen industries where they hire small hats, teenagers, and they actually make propaganda that to demean other than YT people in Israel.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think it was real until I started looking at it. I was like, holy shit, these things they're actually just paying their youth great money to create propaganda under the Smith and Munt Act.
Yeah. And it's so wild though, because if you actually look at it though, you can see why it doesn't even make sense. Like just looking at it, like if you have any comments, you'll be like, wait a minute, how are they comparing this to that? Right?
No, well,
or like
you
said, America.
Our eyes, we can see it, but the average cat.
Yeah, or like you said, the same thing with America, the same problem. America, and they're like, wait, what? But I'm glad that Argentinian guy, he was interesting because he said that in Argentina, they say Americanos, they refer to themselves as Americanos. I said, interesting.
I was glad to hear that, but it's funny because they're one of the most racist people in South America.
Well, that's probably why, because they have all that pride too, and they feel like they probably feel like they're the true white people, right? That's probably what it is. So they say screw those Northern, they probably say screw those Yankees, we're the real Americans. That's probably what it is. That's probably exactly what it is, right? But I'm still glad at least they do it. At least somebody's challenging these,
Yeah, at least somebody's debating us up here, man. We need it, bro.
Yeah, facts.
Our homie came up and then just bounced out. We were just going off too much at the overriding like that one cat, calling me fat.
Oh yeah, that guy was he was wild, bro. I don't know what his issue was, but Vibes, you still there, bro? Got a little quiet. I don't know, maybe
Ole, pendejo.
He called you fat.
that guy was weird.
Yeah, bro. That homie called me fat. I was like, we couldn't figure it out. I was like, me? He's like, yeah, you. I was like, all right, cool. I'll be fat today. I was African yesterday, bro.
Yeah, he was like, you're fat, you're an idiot. I'm like, oh my God, what is he? This guy don't even know you. What is he saying, bro? What is he talking about?
So what was his like? Was he FBA or something like that? Did he say what he
just said he was a black American. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was like, oh, he's anti-immigration, and he said Trump got to get all these people out of here, and yeah,
he's not a monkey.
Yeah, he was like, oh, he didn't descend from apes. It's just all this. I'm like, that's not even what the but yeah, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, then he got theories mixed up.
I think some of these people that be on TikTok need a psychotropic medicine, man. I don't know, because a lot of times, like the old girl yesterday, I think she might have had a few before she hit the TikTok and woke up out of her stupor.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of times you gotta watch these guys, man, because I think people like that they're either agents or they need medicine, man. Jesus.
Well, I was going to mention that to you, Mike. Just your mediation skills just within the group last night was phenomenal. I mean, you were translating for Midnight Mist to Jay. I mean, you were like, it's funny because nobody like hired you, but you were right there in the forefront. I was like, dude, is fucking talented. I mean, you were making it so much easier translating from one person to the other, and we weren't even in the same room. I thought, man, like if you wouldn't mind at some point, if you ever on my lives, I'd love to make you a moderator, man. You just have that natural talent.
No problem, Nagua. Yeah, no problem. If I'm ever on your live, man, you make me a mod, I got you covered.
Word, bro. Yeah, you got it, bro.
A lot of times I think a lot of times we agree in root, but what we missing is the fact that we are at root come to the same conclusions, and we just branch out to different perspectives. So I think mostly everybody agreed about what each perspective, even though everybody had their different perspective, and I think they could agree with it if they only knew, or they were just a little bit more mindful about where it began in root, because a lot of us began at the same place, and then we wind up taking to our own perspective by the information that we come by. We don't necessarily ignore the other information to have a well-rounded understanding. It's just that there's some things that might stick out to us to where we stay focused on this, and then we might negate the other perspectives that might be applicable too, because two things can be right at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what it was with Dr. Wilson and what's my man named Midnight?
Yeah, that's right.
I believe they were both right. They just came from different schools and they got the same information, but probably at different times, and therefore their perspectives seemed to be different, when really I think at root they kind of could agree with each other.
Being able to focus on that in the heat of the moment, though, was I was just sitting there like I was in the process of I was in the act of processing a bit of a conflict brewing up, a little amber of a little coal in the middle of a haystack, while you were already, brushing away the hay and kind of like just making sure the fire had a little, it didn't grow as fast as it could have been so quickly. I mean, you were able to just tweak the wording of what each one said in such a fast moment that they were able to then see it in a different perspective and come to a more calm conclusion in an instant. I was still trying to figure out my whole screen and everything. I was all fucked up on mine.
You know what, Nagua? You know what it is? I think if you widen out the perspective a little bit, they'll see where their ideas kind of like both overlaps, because a lot of their argument points were, and I hate to use this word because I don't want to take away from their points, because they both have valid points. They were anecdotal though.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So if it was more generalized, then they could see, I can see where my perspective overlaps with his, and his overlaps with mine. We don't necessarily disagree. We just got points of view that we like to make sure is the other party understood, instead of it being like a contest between ideas. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I'm aware of Midnight's position, and I'm also aware of Dr. Wilson's position, being a Pan-Africanist. And so as soon as the Kemet and Egypt thing came up, I was like, oh, shit. And then immediately Jay and just kind of turned the corner, and redirected. I was like, man, it could have been a close call. But it also inspired a little.
Yeah, I heard them picking up their newspapers. They just said, it was going to hell.
Yeah, it was funny. It was negated very quickly. And I just kept thinking, man, I got good mods, bro. Because I was sitting there still trying to figure out why my stream was freezed. And these guys are mitigating, possible abrasions, within the group. I was just like, oh, man, talented cat, bro.
I remember that. I just got back. I'm sorry, guys.
Especially different.
Yeah,
go ahead, Mike. I hear I'm lagging.
Yeah.
Am I lagging?
I think all of us are.
I think we all are. I know. Yeah. I've been lagging. Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, I was just gonna say. Well, that's gonna be the issue. Even on my panel, because I got mostly African. People that follow me, and I'm proud to be African. I'm also proud to be in America. From my two distinct sides. So, yeah, it's gonna be hard and I think I'm just gonna find a medium ground in the sense of like we won't try to invalidate each other. I mean, there'll just be certain things like that, like the Grand Canyon. Egypt is in the Grand Canyon, where some of my people are gonna be like, hell no,
You know,
and they won't ever budge. They won't even hear that out.
my boy Poppy came in last night, and he made a good point on a post that I made recently, where people associate Egyptian and Egyptology and the Hikupta itself as a specific geographical region, when at the time when it was alive, it was more of just it was a lot wider scope that we are led to assume. You know, like the same thing I told him. The same thing goes with Mayan. People just assume that Mayans are down in the Yucatan and like Tikal and like Chichen Itza or some shit like that. But I've read cases of Mayans being all the way up in Canada. You know, it's not necessarily a localized, specific geographical point. You know, back then we're transposing what our ideologies back into that time. But those people reached. I've seen Mayans working on railroads up here alongside Chinese in the U.S. You know, so like we just have these predisposed constructs built in our head that we automatically just assign to a specific cultural identity, which is the case. The same thing goes with Egypt. Egypt at that particular time spanned a great deal of the globe. You know, it's just that we now reduce it back to Egypt in, you know, that specific area.
Right. Well, it's just like the ego.
With the Mayans is that the Mayans also wound up in the Caribbean. I'm sorry about that, Vibes. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. You talk before me. No one can hear me until like 10 seconds after I speak, so it's gonna be hard. But go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I just real quick. All I was saying is that a lot of Mayans wound up in the Caribbean. Supposedly, they were taken there as slaves by the Spanish. So.
Yeah, I have the same literature. I've seen that myself, but I've also heard of them as far down as the southern tip of Argentina, for like earlier accounts.
Go ahead, Vi.
Yeah,
no, something's up with my thing. Yeah, again, we're not gonna, we're either gonna say they were brought there or like that their imagination about what those empires, like how much they ruled, that we don't know, right? Unless we do our own research and we see similarities. I mean, even the pyramids from Africa and America is like there's some similarities, more than differences. And so we should know that like all this stuff was going on. I really wish we had some technology to look in the past. I mean, that would be the best option. But in the meantime, we have like nationalism, right? Or we have these ancient empires like Kush, where we're really proud of. And we attribute civilization to, but I think what we have here is the whole like we talking shit to each other, like calling them pretendians, them calling us Africans or dirty Africans or monkeys, and so right there you can't go back. Once you step foot into that ground, you're just shitting on the other people and you're doubling down on it. So there's no room to learn from each other in those circles, and don't get me wrong, I've been in them circles too, where I'm on a panel with my African people and, American Indians come on and they're just ready for battle like that, like fucking Tyrone. I'm surprised Tyrone didn't go off, but
I had a talk with him, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I had a talk with him. I told him, I said, look, I want you to be one of my mods, but you got to chill the fuck out. I was like, you got to realize that when we're on my live, we're not taking any position. We're not trying to establish a position in any way. We're questioning all the positions that are being taken, because we can't draw any conclusions at this point, and he understood it very quickly. And I told him his work is he's a great scholar and his passion is there. And I told him, your work is too precious for the movement. You keep putting your ego in front of the literature, and that defeats the whole purpose. We're not important here. The literature is important. So get your priorities straight. And he agreed.
Right, exactly. And I've been on, I've had to boot Tyrone more than a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, once, because you come with a chip on your shoulder from what's going on in the other TikTok, on the other side of TikTok, and it just becomes toxic. And then there's no room to, I mean, you guys see me like talk, like Divine hops in, but I've heard Divine crash out too. And but yeah, I've heard everyone crash out, to tell you the truth, you know, and it's something normal when we're roasting each other. There's a room for that. There's a space for that. You know, there's a time and there's a set and setting for that. But you know, when we're on here, definitely, I just want to get stuff from an unbiased position and just learn, because I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. But you know, when the homie last night was talking about how superior, you know, his people are to African people, that's where Dr. Willis or Dr. whatever was like, well, you know, and then he was misappropriating information that, you know. So again, once we've studied enough to what we can study about ourselves, our regions, and we're set and solid in that. And it takes a lot for to shake that foundation from someone that has, you know, their whole life to learn up in there. But it's a little vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable too. You have to have some vulnerability to learn and to shut up sometimes and just take in information instead of always having listening to react, you know. But I've been rambling a little too much.
Yeah, I think they like, okay, going back to the whole thing about when they start bringing up about Egypt being in the Grand Canyon or the United States or whatever they were trying to say. The issue with that is that if you don't, that's something that is a whole entire dissertation. So if you're going to assert that, which that person was doing,
Yeah.
that's a whole dissertation. That's a whole conversation. That's a whole live in of itself. Presenting documents showing that. So just to bring that up casually in a conversation, that assertion would derails the entire thing, because that's not the purpose of this live to talk to, right? Because that's clearly a very specific topic.
Yeah,
that was my whole issue with that. If we're gonna, that's why, like I was telling, like, because there's, like, for example, Nagual, on Vibes' lives, we've had Christians come on here and they would start talking about Christianity, and I tell them, nope, we're not going to go there, because again, that's a whole nother topic. Because again, that was something that I specialized in when I majored in history. A whole entire topic can talk about that for hours. Totally different thing. We're not going to have a conversation and bring that in there, start making claims about it to derail the whole conversation when that's not the purpose of this theme. That was my whole issue with that. Because you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, because it's like, it's not that we're shutting it down. It's like, okay, but that's not what we're talking about here. If we want to have a live specifically about the origins of ancient Egypt, we're going to define actually what ancient Egypt even is in terms of what we mean when we say it, and who, you know, counts as having that identity and where they actually were originated. We can have that. That's an interesting discussion. Yeah. Like, you can't just casually drop that into a conversation. Oh, by the way, Egypt was in Africa. First of all, you're dropping it as if it's a conclusion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you didn't say, oh, you brought it as if it's just a conclusion. Like, that's just a matter of fact. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
you see how you know that's the issue.
Yeah, there's some nuance there, bro. There's some nuance there.
Right. There's a lot of nuance, and again, that's a whole entire discussion with documentation, all kind of things. You know, like, yeah, if we want to have that, great, but I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. People like to come in and just start throwing stuff, because see, what I've noticed is, and that goes back to these historical narratives. A lot of times people like to do that because they're trying to talk about this. It goes back to this whole identity thing, and people are trying to establish some type of identity claim, and we already talked about the issues with that. Right?
Yeah.
Even when this whole thing about being copper colored. Well, copper colored is a description, not a prescription. Exactly. That's a description of a skin color. That doesn't mean that every single person who's copper color said, oh, we're all one people, we're all the same. To even say that and suggest that that's what they thought is a YT colonial perspective. You're going back to this race concept again.
It sounds like colorism to me.
That's my issue. That's what they're doing. Because I'm like, even if people were copper color, okay, great. Even if they were copper color, even if they had so-called Negro features, I mean, just to use that word, doesn't mean that was your people from an ethnic identity sense. Doesn't mean that was, so people say, look, they were copper color, I'm copper color, that means we're the same. Oh, that's a white, you just called upon a YT perspective to justify that. Yeah, right? To use phenotype to describe ethnicity. That's a YT way of looking at things. And they don't seem to understand that. It's like, I don't know how else to make them realize what they're doing.
It's funny, Jay, because at one point I have my boy, the nose hunter, and bro, I've been holding on to this bit of my opinion for quite some time. You know, like probably 10 years, and I made a post about the Mayan culture, and I didn't even know this guy yet, but he made a comment on my post. He said, "Look, I don't know about you, but I see black and brown folks up there doing work on these YT," and I was like, what? I was like, wait a minute here. He's like, but he was inferring that they aren't two different people. He was making the inference that they are the same culture. And so when he said that, I was like, are you saying this? He's like, yeah. And I was like, bro, you just right there. You said what's been in my mind, and I've been me as an extremely confident, scholar, had been afraid of voicing my own opinion because I couldn't really substantiate it with any type of literature. But the fact that someone else said what I thought, I then felt the need to open that levy, and go into that type of presentation. But the fact that no one's even pondered that thought, like you go to Chichen Itza, there's clearly dark brown people and the very dark brown people. I don't see them as black and brown, but I see a lot of scholars doing the presentation as though they're two different races. I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can't interpret to the entire OTW population that they're different, because from my perspective, we are the same, and we have one common quote enemy, and that is you trying to give a presentation in that shitty ass manner. But only up until then was I able to see somebody else would give it support, and then I started doing my presentation in such a way, and then people started responding to that very positively.
Yeah, and that's another thing. There's so much diversity in Africa, so many different types of skin colors, the spectrum of brown and black, and even to the light skins,
Yeah,
so yeah, even
I was on a
even then
Go ahead, bro.
I'm lagging so bad. You got dropped for some. Who got dropped? We got dropped for some. You didn't get dropped.
Someone get dropped?
Jay, did you?
This layout is so weird, bro.
Is it?
Jay,
You feel like you're?
Am I
You
still
feel
on the
like
live,
you're
bro?
getting?
Because am I still on the live?
Yeah, you still here, Jay.
Yeah.
No, I can't see myself.
Where'd you go?
Yo,
I don't see you.
this layout is weird, bro.
Jay, where you at?
Fucking strange, isn't it?
He's on top of
I'm on the
you.
left hand side now, bro.
He's
I
on
don't-
top.
Oh,
It's
Jay,
two-
Jay
it's-
across-
it's-
oh, you-
I
you're
think
top,
this
okay.
is like 2 versus 1. Kind of.
Yeah, it's weird because I was like, I didn't even know I was still on. I thought I was on.
And where are the comments?
Yeah,
The comments are down there.
but no.
Hold on, guys. Let me restart this. Okay, let me restart it because I'm lagging
Look
really
at that
bad.
shit. I just put a comment
Okay.
there.